Okay, so question 4, all this again, they are past exam questions. I compile this together. Okay, I compile all this myself. They come from different past exam papers. So have a look. The part A asks you to do what? The part A, prepare a corrected statement of financial position at 31st October 2015, showing the different types of assets and liabilities and the capital and current accounts of each partner. So you have to do the SOFP of a partnership business. Okay, the SOFP of a partnership business. Recall that you have the capital section divided into two divisions. First one we call it as capital, the other one we call it as current, okay, accounts. Right. Calculation of current account balances may be shown within the SOFP or as separate calculation in the space provided. So they tell you, they give you two options. Okay, they have given you two options as far as doing the current account is concerned. I show you the notes. I'm not sure if you remember. This question is for 16 marks. Then followed by theory question. Then you just focus on this one first. Okay, we focus on doing SOFP first. You learn this in chapter 14. Okay, so page 267 is where you can get the idea how to do the SOFP for a partnership business. Okay, you have two options. You either do it this way or you do it this way. Okay, remember, if the question asks you to do a current account earlier, then only they ask you to do the SOFP, then you follow the one here. If the question straight away asks you to prepare this, then you prepare this straight away. Sorry, you prepare it using this formatting, where you show the current account in full details. Okay, you show the current account in full details in the SOFP. Okay, we had already done a couple of questions on this already last time. Okay, a few months ago. So now let's do this. Okay, not easy. Looks not easy. Start from the top. Moses and Tobias Liambo are in partnership. Financial year ends on this day. They share profits and losses equally. This is talking about sharing the residual profit or loss. Okay, it's about sharing the residual profit or loss. Yeah, we never share the profit for the year. Remember, we did many questions for partnership in the paper one. Okay, we never share the profit for the year. A capital and current account are maintained for each partner. Despite having little accounting knowledge, Tobias prepared the following statement of financial position on 31st October 2015. That means this is a wrong SOFP. Okay, this SOFP has some problems in it because they told you a little accounting knowledge. Okay, that means we have to help them to do a correct one. Premises at cost. This is NCA. Okay, this is NCA. This is CA. Okay, you classify every item first. Okay, you classify every item by tagging them CA, CA. Okay, drawings, we show it in the current account. Debit side, okay, current account debit side. Trade payables, CL. Provision for doubtful debts. Common mistake made by students. They classify it as current liabilities. Wrong. Okay, have to see the chapter 8. Okay, you learn this. You present it together with the trade receivable in the current asset section. Okay, this is presented together with the trade receivable. Capital account. Okay, capital account. This is capital at the beginning of the year. Okay, beginning of the year. Current account at the beginning of the year. M Lambo debit, T Lambo credit. What are exactly their name? Moses and Tobias. Okay. Then, this one not sure what it is. Okay. Oh, because they cannot balance the SOFP. Therefore, this is the amount that they cannot get rid of. Okay, this is the amount that they cannot get rid of. Just ignore it. Okay, you don't have to care about this for now. Okay, then see the additional info. Profit for the year is 18,000. This is in the appropriation account. Okay, remember, prepare income statement, then you prepare appropriation account. The first figure in the appropriation account is profit for the year. Income statement included adjustment for the following, which should have been included in the SOFP. Expenses accrued. So they tell you to include this in the SOFP. These two items. Accrued means what? Accrued means outstanding, right? Okay, we see this word many times. It means outstanding, or you call it unpaid. So expenses that you have not paid, we call it as current liability. So later we put it into the current liability. We call this as other payable. Okay, you can write this as other payable in the current liability. Depreciation for the year, 3,100. Okay, this is to be presented. Let me see. Is it the first year in operation, the business? It doesn't say. It doesn't say so, but it appears that this is the first year they are charging depreciation, because I'm not seeing any provision for depreciation in this question. Okay, if they have given me provision for depreciation, this refers to the depreciation they have charged earlier for all the previous years. Okay, but I don't see this. Therefore, I'm thinking that they are first year in operation. Okay, so this should be presented in the NCA section. Ishin, recall, expense is in the income statement. Expenses that you have not paid, that you have yet to pay, outstanding, as a current liability. Okay, this is from chapter 6. Okay, you learn this in chapter 6. The word accrued. Okay, accrued. In the income statement, what you show is the amount that you should pay for the current year. And expenses accrued means the amount that you have not paid. Okay, maybe you should pay 1,000, but you have paid only 800. Therefore, there is 200 outstanding, and it becomes current liability. Additional number 2, bank charges 70, correctly recorded in the income statement, but had not been entered in the cash book. Okay, so you have to minus from the bank account. Okay, minus this 70 from the bank account. Based on what it says, we have to minus 70 from the bank account, because they say that in the cash book, you have not recorded the 70. You have not recorded the 70. Come to here. Where is the bank account? Here, minus 70. Okay, put here minus 70. Can see here. Okay, put there first. Later we show the calculation in the SOFP. Okay, info number 2 is finished. So I remove it. Cash in hand 500 had not been included in the SOFP. This is easy. Just include it in the current asset section. Okay, current asset section. Cash in hand means cash. Okay, cash in hand means the same as cash. Okay, how should you start? Let me try to see. They give me profit for the year. Do I need to do appropriation account? Appropriation account, but I don't see interest on drawing. There's no interest on capital, no salary partner. Okay, let me first tell you how we should construct the appropriation account. You see, why do I need the appropriation account? I need to find out what is the sharing of residual profit or loss. I'm trying to find this one. Hold on, yeah, I'm highlighting this part. Okay, I'm trying to find this. Okay, because these two amounts, 17520 and the 11680, they should go into the current account. Okay, they should go into the current account here. But now I don't see this from the exam question. They have not given me residual profit sharing. Okay. And in the exam question, I also do not see interest on drawing. I also do not see interest on capital. I also do not see salary to partners. So what does it mean? If you don't have these three things, it means that profit for the year will be the same as residual profit. Okay, profit for the year is the same as residual profit. Therefore, we can straight away share the profit for the year this time, because in the question, there's no interest on drawing, there's no interest on capital, there's no salary to any partner. Let me confirm. Okay, check again. Do you have interest on capital, interest on drawing, and salary to partner? Okay, check again the entire question. I don't see any. Okay, therefore, we can take the profit for the year being the same as residual profit. Okay, take this as the same as residual profit. And then you divide it by 2. Why divide by 2? Because they say you should share the residual profit or loss equally. Okay, here. Okay, you should share the residual profit or loss equally. So divide by 2. There are only 2 partners in this question. How much? 9,000, right? Okay. 9,000. Okay, I think we should show the calculation inside the space here. Okay. Let's do it. Residual profit shared to each partner, 18,000 divided by 2, 9,000. Ishin, look carefully. For the bank charges, they say had not been recorded in the cash book. Had not been recorded in the cash book. Cash book contains what? Cash account and bank account. So it's talking about the bank account that's in the cash book. They have not deducted the 70. So I deduct 70 here. Why? Because bank account is in the bank statement. Sorry, bank account is in the cash book. So I minus 70. Get it? Bank is not an item in the income statement, right? Okay. Let's come back to this. So I've done the appropriation account. Okay. Now I've done the appropriation account. because profit for the year is residual profit. Okay, because I don't see interest on capital, I don't see interest on borrowing, there's no salary to partner. Okay, so this question is quite special. Now, you read this again. They say you may show the calculation for current account within the SOFP. Within the SOFP means what? It means you show this type of SOFP. That means when you are doing the SOFP inside the current account section, you show the full details here. Okay. And then continue to see or as separate calculations in the space provided. Space provided means here. So this option 2 means you do the current account, inside this box. Okay, inside this box. Then only you do the SOFP. Okay, so let me show you. I show you through the option 2. I think option 2 is easier because we do it step by step. Okay, we do the current account first. So you can draw a T-shape here right now. Okay, in this space. I'm trying to access other tools here. I have to close it for a second. I have to open it again. It's not an easy question, yeah. You may have to do it multiple times for you to understand. Sorry, I opened the wrong file. Okay, now come back here. I have the ruler. Okay. Two partners, right? Okay, so draw. This is current account, yeah. This is current account. If you want to follow the option 1, where you show all the current account details in the SOFP, is also fine. Okay, but personally, I like this. I like this more. Okay, we do the current account first, then the SOFP becomes easier. Okay, after that, you can, I wait for you. When you have drawn the T-shape, you let me know. Okay, you let me know with the word done. I want you to do this together with me. Okay, I want you to move together. Okay, I wait for you. You draw this T-shape, the current account, and all the lines. Okay, good. Ishin is done drawing. Okay, done drawing, you let me know, yeah. If you have used the space, you draw it somewhere else. For those who have done the question, you can draw it somewhere else. Okay, I wait for Kelly. Okay, I continue slowly, yeah. If you are close to finish drawing, then you follow me. So write down the name of the partners. Moses and Tobias. Okay, I remember they give us the opening balance for this current account. The opening balance of this current account from the question. here, 2,000, 3,005. Okay, for Moses, is on the debit side, 2,000. For Tobias, it is 3,500 on the credit side. Okay, 2,000 and 3,005. Okay, then remember in the appropriation account, there is no interest on drawing, there's no interest on capital, there's no salary to partner, but you have the sharing of the residual profit. So 9,000, you put it here. This is the sharing of the residual profit. Okay, I remember I see drawings from the question. You remember? Is there drawing for each of them? Yes, right. Here. 8,000 for Moses, 5,005 for Tobias. Okay, 8,000, 5,005. 8,000, 5,005. 8,000 for whom? 8,000 for Moses. Here, drawings. Okay, these are the things appearing in the current account, right? Okay, on the debit side, you have drawings and interest on drawing. But in this question, there's no interest on drawing. Okay, so just ignore it. Then there's no interest on capital. So ignore it. There's no salary to partner. Okay, so don't have it. Then just balance the current account, then you are done. Just balance the current account, then you are done. There's nothing else you should put here. Before I forget, go remove the numbers that you have used. Go remove the numbers that you have used. Okay, just now I used this. Just now I used this. Number 4 is done also. Info number 4. Okay. Okay, balance it. This is easy. Balance Moses current account. Balance Tobias current account. Do the one for Tobias. $7,000. Okay, if you have question, you ask. Yeah, we are not rushing here at all. After we have finished discussing this paper, then we will move on to discussing the past exam papers. Okay, the real ones. This all the ones that you are doing right now, they are the ones I compile myself. Okay, according to what you learn in my materials. Okay, did I write it correctly? Okay, Tobias 7,000 on the credit side. Correct. When you're done with this current account, you let me know. If you notice any mistake, you can also let me know. Okay, then we move on to the SOFP together. If there's anything you don't understand for the current account, okay, you can also ask now. Okay, before we move on to the SOFP. Okay, when you're done, you tell me done. Okay, I wait for Crystal and Asian. So like I mentioned earlier, this question is very special because the appropriation account, you do not have interest on capital, no interest on drawing, no salary to partner. Okay, that's why profit for the year is taken as the profit is taken as a residual profit. Okay, now we continue to the SOFP. We do the correct one. Okay, we do the correct SOFP. 16 marks. It's the first time I'm doing this with the students, okay, because all of you are the ones who have progressed very fast, okay, very fast compared to other of my students. Therefore, I have the time to discuss this with you. Okay, now, hope I can balance it. You write NCA, okay, non-current assets. Draw a line for this. Okay, I think it's better for me to show two files separately so that I don't have to scroll upward and downward frequently so that you get confused. Hold on, let me close this. I make a copy of this file so that I can show separately. Easier for you to see. Okay, on the right, one file. On the left, one more. Okay, easier this way. Okay, now look for NCA, right? Okay, look for NCA. Premises, premises. Then fixtures and equipment. I remember there's a depreciation figure for fixtures and equipment, 3001. Can see? Okay, on the page 14. Okay, so you write fixtures and fittings, fixtures and equipment. Even if you have done the question, you may do it together with me on a separate piece of paper, okay? So that you have the answers ready. For this one, I'm going to show it like this. 24800 minus the accumulated depreciation, which is 3001. Not sure if you remember this, okay? In the SOFP, we present the NCA this way. I show you, you learn it in chapter 7. Chapter 7. If you have the notes, you can also see it yourself. Okay, here. First figure, the cost of the NCA, then minus the accumulated depreciation. Then you show the figure to the rightmost. That is the net book value. That's the net book value. That's how you show in the SOFP. Okay, now do the deduction. Let me do the deduction. Is there any more NCA? No more, right? There's no more NCA, right? Okay, then we can total up the NCA. Let's total up the NCA. Oh yeah, let me answer in the chat box to one of you. Okay, continue. Total up 101,700. Put it here. Okay. Then current assets. Don't have to write total NCA, yeah? Don't have to write total non-current assets. Here you write current assets, which is the next section. Okay. What are your current assets? Go find inventory, right? Okay, write down inventory. You now see the benefit, the benefit of having classified all the items in at once. Yes, right? Because right now when I'm doing the SOFP, I just have to look for the labels that I have put in the question. Okay, all the tagging that I've done earlier. Now they become useful. Inventory 6950. Look carefully, yeah. Don't take the wrong number. For safety purposes, you may do something like this. Okay, draw lines. Okay, draw lines so that you can see the numbers clearly. Okay, or you put a ruler on the question paper so that you can see easily. Trade receivables. Less provision for doubtful debts. You can also show the deduction in this way. Okay, you can also show the deduction this way, or you do the one that I'm doing now. Okay, the one I used to teach you is showing it like this. Okay, within bracket is also acceptable. Provision for doubtful debts. This is also fine. Okay, showing as a separate line is also fine. Numbers 5,002 minus 130. Okay, 5070. All other current assets, what do you have? What other current assets do you still have? Bank, the bank. Okay, now when I see a chain of numbers, a series of numbers that have been used, I make a sate, okay, so that it looks more obvious. Okay, these numbers have been used. Okay, up to you. Okay, that's my way of doing. Okay, there is one more current asset. Anybody can tell me what it is. What is the current asset that I still need to put in? If you know, you tell me in the chat box, or you tell everybody also. Yes, correct. Okay, cash. Okay, remember? It's from the additional info. Go look for the cash. So questions with additional info like this, you have to see carefully. Okay, really. 500 is 500. Cash in hand 500. You may write cash or cash in hand, up to you. It doesn't matter. 500. Okay, info number 3 has been used. Remove it. Okay, not much left. Good. Okay, now we can finish off the asset section. We finish off the asset section by totaling up all the assets together. If there's nothing to do, okay, please do not go out because the flood is very serious. Everywhere you go, there is roadblock because you cannot pass through the roads. Plus 101,700. Okay. Total assets 115,650. Total assets. Okay. When your answers are like mine, then you tell me done again. Okay. Then we move on together to the next part. We move on together. Okay, Ishin is done. Okay, I wait for the rest. Okay. One of you still do not understand why I minus 70. They say this line. Bank charges had not been entered in the cash book. Okay, had not been entered in the cash book. Cash book contains cash account and bank account. Bank charges is a figure that you should minus from the bank account, right? So they say had not been entered in the cash book. Yeah, it says it's correct in the income statement. Am I doing the income statement now? No, I'm not. I'm doing the SOFP. I have to care about the bank account. And the bank account is in the cash book. So therefore, I have to minus 70 from it because why not plus? Bank charges is something, is a figure that you plus? No. Bank charges is a figure that you should minus. Bank charges is a payment. You have to pay for it. Therefore, you minus. You have to see chapter 9. You see this item bank charges in chapter 9 when we were doing the bank reconciliation. See, bank charges. Okay, bank charges is a payment. It's a payment. So minus. Of course, you cannot plus. Now, after the asset section, we have to have what? We have to have the capital account and then the current account. Okay, for both the partners, Moses and Tobias. Okay, let's do this part. Okay, let's do this part easy. Let's do it. Write the name first. Maybe let me explain also why they say it's correct in the income statement. Okay, why they say it's correct in the income statement. Maybe you don't understand this part. So maybe you don't understand what is correct. So bank charges, what are the double entries for bank charges? You credit bank account, debit bank charges. Okay, it's a payment from the bank account. Okay, and they told you that this one they have done, this one they have not done. Okay, so what is the consequence of having done this? Debiting bank charges. So this is a bank charges account. You have a figure here, maybe 70. Okay, they told you that this is done. Okay, and consequently, you will do transferring process to the bank charges account. Therefore, you put here income statement 70. Therefore, this amount will appear in the income statement. Yeah, that's the meaning. That's the meaning of it. They told you that they have done this, but they have not credited bank. They have not credited bank. Okay, and this is also done. Okay, that's the meaning for the bank charges. Therefore, just now I minus 70 from the bank because they have not done it. They have not done this crediting bank. Okay, here write capital account. Here write current account. Okay, look for the capital account amounts. Capital account amounts. Where are they? $65,000 and $35,000. So write down. But you notice or not, this is the amount at the beginning of the year, their capital account. And we are supposed to show the capital account at the year end, but it appears that their capital have not changed. That means they have not invested more money into the business. Both of them have not invested more money into the business. Therefore, it stays the same, 65,000 and 35,000. Throughout the question, you don't see them investing more, right? Okay, therefore their capital account stays the same, 65,000, 35,000. Okay, so these numbers you have used, remove them. Okay, these numbers are not needed. You don't have many numbers left, right? Okay, you only have trade payable here. Okay, that you have not used, trade payable. There's a current liability. Do you have non-current liability? Oh, sorry. Before we continue, we should finish off the current account first. The current account, we look at this, right? Bring the closing balances of the current account into the answering area. For Tobias, 7,000 positive. 1,000. Okay. That's how you do, right? Okay. If you see the notes, that's how we do. We bring the closing balances of the current account into the SOFP. So total up. This is 64,000. Also total up horizontally to the right. Here 6,000. 106,000. Would you get the same figure? 106,000. Okay, so we are very close to finishing the entire question. So the current account here is very easy to do because I have done it in advance. Okay, I have done the calculation here. It makes my life easier when I do the SOLP. If I have not done the T-shaped current account, I would have to show the full details of current account when I am doing the SOLP. I prefer to do it this way, where I show the T-shaped current account first. When I do the SOLP, it would be easier. Is there non-current liability? I don't see any. Okay, there's no non-current liability in this question. Not a must, right? Okay, there's not a must to have a non-current liability. The same goes to current liability is not a must to have. Okay, now continue. Current liabilities. Current liabilities. I remember the trade payable from the question. Let's have a look. Trade payables. 8520. There's one more current liability, remember? There's one more current liability. Okay, so this page we don't have to see anymore because all the numbers have been used, right? Then come to here, expenses accrued, that is the current liability. 1130. Write it as other payables. Okay, write it as other payables. If you want to copy their term expenses accrued, it's also not wrong. Okay, but normally we use the term other payables. Okay, let's see if we can balance it. I believe we can. The figure is very close. Total up the current liabilities. Okay, good. We can balance it. Later we see the mark scheme together. See whether this is the correct SOFP. After that, here you write total capital and liabilities. Okay. It's all right to not write the word current here. Okay. It's not necessary to write the word current here. Okay. Just write it the usual way. Total capital and liabilities is fine. Okay. When you're done and you have no question to ask, okay. If you have you ask, then you let me know with the word done again. We see the answers together for this one. The mark scheme. It's my first time doing this. Okay, one of you asked me why this is a minus 1,000. Why this is a minus 1,000? Anybody knows? Because it's from the debit side. Because it's from the debit side. This account here is plus, here is minus. Okay, and if you see the notes, for sure you can get the answer. Okay, when you have a debit balance, look at Lisa's debit balance. That's a negative figure. So you see, negative 10600 for Lisa. For Ali, 17600 is a positive number. So it's here positive number. The full answers, let me show you. It's my first time doing this question. Sorry, I do not know where to get the answers. I have to go online and find it. Believe this is the one. Okay, so correct. 115650. 115650. I know there is some presentation difference. Okay, there is some presentation difference. For example, the current liabilities, they put it to the rightmost. Okay, I told you to gather them in the middle column first, right? then show the total 9650 on the right. Okay, so it's still the same. It's still the same thing. No difference. Okay, so correct, entirely correct. And you see the current account is different because they have not done the T-shaped current account. Therefore, they do it within the SOFV. It's also acceptable. You see, accept current account calculations outside the statement, which is what I have done. I show it separately. Okay, this is what I show separately, which is also acceptable. Okay, that's what they say. Okay, we continue to see other parts of question. The part B and C. State two items which Moses and Tobias Limbo could have included in their partnership agreement, in addition to the profit sharing ratios. Remember, there are four main things. There are four main things that you have in your partnership agreement, and I told you to remember them. They are these four: interest on drawing, interest on capital, partner salary, profit sharing ratio. This is what they have already. Okay, don't write profit sharing ratio because they have it already. They say in addition to this thing. So go on and write, up to you which one you want to pick. Interest on drawings, interest on capital, or you write in partner salary, also fine. Okay, just write two. State two ways in which they could obtain long-term funds to finance the expansion of the business. They ask you, how can they borrow money? Okay, how can they borrow long-term money? Means after they have borrowed, they have to pay back after long time ago. Okay, long term. That means more than 1 year, NCL. So how can they do so? Oh, okay. One of you do not understand what is meant by this. This means you cannot write profit sharing ratio as the answer. There are four items, right, in the agreement, the four main items. They say in addition to profit sharing ratio means you cannot write profit sharing ratio. In addition means on top of also, okay, on top of, or you call it besides. Yeah, correct. Because in the question, they give you this item already, right? This item can be found in the question. And these are the ones that are not appearing in the question. They expect you to write this to yourself, okay? Therefore, if you write profit sharing ratio, they consider you as cheating, okay? They consider you as cheating. So do not write profit sharing ratio. Okay, how to obtain long-term funds? Long-term funds, you see, is it restricted to borrowing? No, it's not restricted to borrowing because it says long-term funds. It can be having another business partner. Having another business partner means somebody invest money into the business to become a business partner also. So you write together with me. You write in the first place, do you know how can you become a business partner? You must invest money into the business. Okay, no matter how much money you invest into the business, you automatically becomes a business partner. Okay, so admit means invite. Okay, invite another business partner so that you have more money in the business. Okay, and then you may write obtain long-term loan from the bank. Okay, so these are the two ways you may deploy to get the long-term funds. So why are these two amounts of funds long-term? How are they long-term? Long-term means the money can stay in the business. The money can stay in the business for a long period of time. When you invest money into a business, usually you should not expect immediate profit, right? Today, you invest money into a business, you run the business. Can you double the amount of money on tomorrow? Impossible, right? Okay, it's possible, but very difficult. Okay, so usually when you invest money into the business, you leave the money there for a long time. You leave the money there for a long time so that you have to be patient. Okay, let it be in the business. Let the money be in the business. Keep running. Okay, so that it become more in the future. Long-term funds here, it can be capital or liabilities. Okay, it can be both capital and liabilities. Funds means money. So capital means from the owner. Liabilities mean you borrow from somebody else. Long-term means the money will stay in the business for a long time. Okay, long-term means the money will stay in the business for a long time. Seek government funding. Yeah, possible. Benjamin, you can write that. Good. Okay, yeah. Now we see the next question. Okay, what is this? This is company's question. Because whenever you see the word limited next to the business name, it indicates that you are doing a company's question. There are more hints here. There are more hints here that tell you are doing a company's question. Debentures, dividend, general reserve, share capital, retained earnings. These are the things that will only appear in a company's question. Again, don't look at the question starting from the top. Always see what they want you to do first. Look at the A. They ask you to find correct value of inventory on this day. Okay. So what do you have to do? Is there any topic that you can think of when you look at this word, value of inventory? It is the valuation of inventory topic, which you learn in chapter 10 of my material. Okay, or you call it part 10. So we keep talking about lower of cost and NRV. Okay, not sure if you remember. We have to find cost, find NRV, see which amount is lower. That amount is what you need. Okay, find cost, find NRV, then the lower amount is what you need. Let's see what we have to do in the B. B, they ask you to deal with accounting errors. You have to correct some accounting errors from 1 to 3. Then you get a corrected profit for the year. Revise means corrected. Okay, revise means corrected. Revise means corrected. That means right now, the profit for the year given in the question should be wrong. You have to correct error 1 to 3 to get the correct profit for the year. Then this one, a typical question. We have done this many times in the chapter 15. Okay, it's a very popular table. It's a very popular table that appears in company's question. Okay, then do SOFP. Anything else? Okay, no more. I'm trying to see an overview first, okay, so that I know what to expect later on. Of course, doing the questions in this way, it comes with experience, okay, because I have done a lot of accounting questions since secondary school until I ended my university, right? So I've gone through a lot of exams. I know how to read the question, okay? So it comes with experience. One of you asked a question about this. How we know is capital or liabilities? It's either one. This question says, state 2 ways in which Moses and Tobias Liambo could obtain long-term funds to finance expansion of the business. Okay, maybe I explain this term in details. Long-term funds. Funds means money. It simply means money. Okay. And long term means it is able to stay in the business for a long time. The money must be able to stay in the business for a long time. Okay, the money is able to stay in the business for a long time. So long-term funds basically means money that can stay in the business for a long time. So the question is asking you, how can they get money that can stay in the business for a long time? How can you get money? You can invest more into the business, okay, or you borrow money from someone, right? So what I'm saying right now is that money here can refer to either borrowing or you invest yourself into the business. Okay, it can be capital, it can be liability. Funds means money. Therefore, you see my answer. By emitting another business money, yeah, correct. You are right, Ishim. You can also write another option. You can also write another answer. Moses or Tobias invest more. Yes, you are right. Moses and Tobias invest more personal funds into the business is also acceptable. Or you write the one that I show is also fine. Okay, by having another business partner, so that you have more money in the business. And then you can also write obtain a long-term loan from the bank. Okay, so it can be either borrowing or investment from the owner. Both are acceptable because long-term funds simply means money. Okay, it's not a very technical term. Funds means money. Okay, yeah. So hope you have understood better. Okay, maybe let me further explain what is long-term. How long is long? Okay, you see, when you imagine in real life, you are trying to run a business. Do you think that you invest 1 million, you invest 1 million ringgit today to run a business? Tomorrow, do you get back 1 million together with another million profit? That means you invest 1 million today. Tomorrow you can get back 2 millions. Quite difficult, right? Okay. If you have any strategy that can make you double your money overnight, then you tell me also. I'm also interested. So in real life, you have to be patient, okay? When you run a business, if you want to double your money in your business, you have to wait, right? Okay. Therefore, when you invest in your money into the business, it should stay for a long time in your business. The money should stay in the business for a long time. Make sense? Okay. So therefore, you have the term long term. Yeah, you can also borrow money from friends and family. Okay. Yeah, you can also write that as the answer. Okay. One of you say, can I write borrow money from friends and family? It's also acceptable. Okay, come back to this. What am I doing here? The A. We have to find the cost, find the NRV, see which is lower. So how should I look for inventory? Is here. You have to pick up the things you need, okay? If you have forgotten completely about the inventory valuation topic, then you forget about doing the A, okay? For sure, you cannot do the A correctly because there's a sea of information here, okay? The information is quite overwhelming. You have to know what numbers to pick up to achieve what you are doing. They give you this, okay? They give you this. Also look at the additional info. They mention something about inventory. Okay, from this line, you can get the cost, can get the NRV, then you choose the lower amount. Okay, everybody, I would like you to try this one. If you have forgotten about this thing, you can refer to chapter 10, okay, find cost, find NRV, then you choose the lower amount. Okay, I give all of you 2 minutes, you find me the lower amount. Meantime, I have to get the charger. Okay, I wait for your answer for A. You tell me in the chat box. Okay, meanwhile, I go get my charger. If you have done, of course, you can write the answer now. Okay, I got my charger. Okay. Most of you calculated it to be 25500. So is it 25500? Okay, one of you got a very figure that's very close. Okay, so let's see how to solve. Cost is 5200. No, cost is not 5200. They say out of this amount. Okay, out of this amount, five two zero zero. Let me draw it another way. There is some inventory. Okay, out of this 26300, there is some inventory with cost 5200, which needed repair. After repairs costing 600, so the repair cost you 600. It could be sold for 5,000. That's the selling price. So for this inventory, NRV is 5,000 minus 600. That's the calculation for NRV. Okay, you can see the notes. 4,004. So which one is lower? For this inventory, cost or NRV is lower. NRV is lower. Okay, NRV is lower. We should choose 4400. What about the remaining inventory? Remaining inventory, if they, because they have not mentioned anything about the remaining inventory, right? So we assume that the figure is correct. Okay, for the remaining inventory. Remaining inventory means how much? 26300 minus 5002. Okay, the remaining inventory has no problem. Okay, has no problem. So what you have to do, you have to reduce the value of inventory from 5002 to 4004. Okay, you have to minus how much? Minus 800. Okay, you have to minus 800 to get from 5002 to 4004. Therefore, you show here 26300 minus 800. Do you know why I have to minus 800? It is due to this portion of inventory, the NRV is lower. NRV is lower than the cost. Right now, the entire 26300 is the cost. Okay, the entire 26300 is the cost. From the info one, it says that for some inventory, okay, included items, okay, some inventory, the NRV is lower, okay, it is 4004, which is lower by 8. You have to reduce it by 800 from the cost. You can get what I said. Okay, not later I explain again, yeah. Let's check the answer for this one. Because it's the first time I'm doing this one. Usually I let my students do and then they send to me for marking for some students. Let me check. Most of you got 25500, right? Okay. Okay, correct. 25500. Their calculation looks more complex. Minus 5002 plus 4004. Not necessary. Okay, just minus 800. Just minus 800. then you can get the correct figure, 25500. Eventually, all that you have to know is you compare cost against NRV, see which is lower. And also know that in this question, this entire amount is the cost. Okay, this entire amount is the cost. And for some inventory, the NRV is lower, 4400. Therefore, you have to reduce the cost to the NRV by minusing 800. Therefore, I have the minusing 800 here. Okay, if you still don't understand, let me know. Okay, so for A, 25500. We see the B. Okay, some still do not understand. Let me explain again. The question gives to you inventory figure 26300, right? This entirely is the cost. This entirely is the cost. And then from the info number 1, it says that inventory of 26300 included items value at cost 5200. So they are just mentioning a portion of inventory. They are giving you some comments for a certain portion of inventory. So for some inventory, they are telling you that the cost is 5,002 and the NRV is 4,004. This is what I calculated, right? Okay. So they are just mentioning some inventory. Okay. And for remaining inventory, since they have not mentioned anything about the remaining inventory, we can assume that there's no problem with the remaining inventory. They stay at the value of cost. They stay at the value of cost. So the remaining inventory refers to this 26300 minus 5,002. The 26300 is the total cost of all the inventory. So the remaining inventory is this one, 21100. This one has no problem. We don't have to find the NRV because the question doesn't mention anything about this. So we put this aside. Later we have to use it. We put the 21100 aside. That's the remaining inventory. Okay. In the question, they mentioned this some inventory. Okay. This one, okay, included items. Items refers to this. They say that the cost is 5200 and RV is 4400. So which is lower? This is lower, right? Agree? And compared to the cost, is lower by how much? Lower by 800, right? Therefore, for this some inventory, we should choose 4004. Agree? We should choose 4004 because it's lower. And therefore, I sum up these two figures, 4004 plus 21100. I will get 25500. For this remaining inventory, they have not given us the NRV. So we just take 21100, which is the cost. Okay, because the question doesn't talk about the NRV for the remaining inventory. So we just take 21100. But for a portion of inventory, they give us the cost, they give us the NRV so that we can compare. And we choose the lower amount, 4400. So eventually, I take 4400 plus the 21100 to get the correct amount of inventory. Can understand? Why do we do 26300? Am I doing that calculation? No, I'm not. Okay, maybe let me open another page to explain. Okay. The rule tells that you have to find the cost, then you find the NRV. You have to choose the lower amount. Okay, you have to choose the lower amount between cost and NRV. The lower amount is what you need. Okay, that will become the value of inventory. So the question give me this inventory figure. The cost of the inventory is 26300. Okay. And let's separate this inventory into two portions. 5002 and 21,100. Let's say this is product A. Let's say this is product A. This is product B. Okay. So these are costs. Okay. These are all the costs. Okay. The price you paid to buy from supplier. So you have to find cost, find NRV, right? And then see which is lower, right? When you have more than one product, you have to do it on a product by product basis. You have to, let's say you have 5 products, you have to apply this rule 5 times. So there are 2 products here, you have to apply this rule 2 times. The question talks a lot about product A without mentioning product B. Because if you see the question, if you go on and calculate the NRV for product A is how much? 4,004. Product A NRV is 4,004 and the cost is 5,002. For product B, the NRV is not given. So we assume that it doesn't exist. Okay. Probably it's the same, therefore they don't give you the NRV. So now choose the lower amount. For product A, the lower amount is 4,004. For product B, the lower amount, we just take 21100 because they have not given us the NRV. We assume that there's no problem with the product B. Therefore, you choose 21100. And then this one you choose 4400. So I total up these two, what I get? I will get 25500, which is the answer. If you do not understand the calculation, you ignore. Okay. Because those who are fast in math calculation, they would get the idea why minus 800. Because right now they give us this figure. Right now they give us this figure 26300, which is the cost of all the inventory. But for the product A, you should choose 4,004, right? And it is lower by 800, right, compared to the cost. Therefore, we have to take 26300 minus the 800 to get the correct value of all the inventory, which is 25500. Can understand? I think I don't have any other way to explain anymore. Okay, this is the best way. Okay, the most detailed way already. Okay, so it comes back to the same rule, lower of cost and NRV. And the question keeps mentioning product A only without mentioning product B. So we just focus on product A, see which is lower. Okay, now we still have 3 minutes left. Okay, we try to do the B. Find the correct profit for the year. Okay. So what is the profit for the year given to us? Profit for the year. $84900. Okay. Draft means not confirmed yet. Okay. shows to you profit for the year 84900. Okay, now, what is the effect of adjusting means correcting? Okay? Adjusting means correcting. Okay, after you have corrected error 1, so what is error 1? This is error 1. So we come to the conclusion that closing inventory should be lower, right? Closing inventory should be lower by 800. Okay, agree? Because the initial amount is 26300, and after you have corrected error 1, it becomes lower by 800. Okay, closing inventory lower by 800. So what is the effect? Let me write down somewhere here. If closing inventory lower by 800, profit for the year will become higher or lower? Profit for the year will become higher or lower by 800? Anybody? If closing inventory lower by 800, profit for the year will become higher or lower by 800? Okay, I see 2 answers. The rest want to try. Okay, one of you answered correctly, but let me explain. It's a very common mistake made by students. Okay, I let Crystal try also. Before I explain. After we have corrected the error 1, closing inventory will become lower by 800. That's what we did from the A. And now we have to find out what is the effect of this correction to the profit for the year. It is lower. It is lower. Let me explain this one. Closing inventory is a figure that you plus in the income statement. Closing inventory, if you look carefully, it is a number that you plus in the income statement. It's a very common mistake made by students. So I draw for you income statement. Here you have sales. Let's say 10,000. Okay. Then less cost of sales, right? Less cost of sales. Here opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory. Okay. Let's say you have 5,000 here, 100 here. Sorry, 1,000. Then another 3,000 here. So what gross profit will you get? What gross profit will you get? 5,000 plus 1,000 minus 3,000. You will get 3,000 cost of sales. Then 10,000 minus it, 7,000. Now let's do an experiment. Yeah, we make the closing inventory lower by 800. Okay, we do another set of income statement. We make the closing inventory lower by 800. And all other numbers remain the same. Okay, all other numbers remain the same. 5,000, 1,000. Okay, this one lower by 800 means 2,002. Okay, now go find the gross profit. Will it become higher or lower? You see, lower. When closing inventory becomes lower, the gross profit will become lower. Why? Because closing inventory is a number that you plus in the income statement. Why I say plus when I see the minus sign here? Because minus becomes plus. In mathematics, when you have 2 minus, it becomes a plus, right? Therefore, you see the effect here. When closing inventory becomes lower, profit will become lower. If closing inventory becomes higher, profit will become higher. Okay, so this is something very important to know. Many students think that closing inventory is a number that you minus in the income statement. Okay, so minus minus becomes plus. Therefore, you have the result here. Okay, very clearly written here. Yeah. Okay, if you want to write down, you write down. Just do it. Just do a comparison, then you understand. So right here, minus 800. Okay, this is for error one. This is for correcting error one. I'm just writing to let you see, okay, correcting error one. Okay, but in the exam, you don't have to write this. So done with error one. Error two, I think I do this next lesson, okay? I will do this, continue to do this next year because we are running out of time here. Okay, if you have not done the entire paper, I encourage you to do it. Okay, please finish off the entire paper so that when I discuss next year, it would become easier. Okay, so have a nice day, everyone. I will see you again next year and happy holidays. If you have questions from time to time, if you are doing work during holidays for accounting, you have questions to ask, then you can ask me in the WhatsApp still, okay? So everybody, goodbye. See you next year. Welcome, everybody. Have a nice day. Happy New Year.